only one statement. It speaks only one statement. And I want you to understand that. Money tells you and me and cries to anyone, irrespective of the race, creed, religion, location, whatever. It only says, please keep me with you. Have you got it? Please keep me with you. It's that. Money doesn't speak anything else. It just makes only one statement. It just makes what? Just one statement. What does it say? Please keep me with you. Indians understand that. Are we together? Now, there was a time, it's just a story. Albert Einstein was flying across the Atlantic. Don't ask me if there was flight when Albert Einstein was there. He was flying from London to Dallas. It was a long journey. So, sometimes when you are on flight for about 8 hours or 10 hours journey, boredom kills you. So he was in a business class, so he was seated. And sometimes in business class you don't have 3 seats, it's only 2 plus 2, because you need a fat seat there, even if you're thin. So Einstein was on one seat. The next seat there was an Indian man who was seated next to him. So he was seated, and then Einstein said, hey, how are you? I'm fine. Are you going to Dallas? Yeah, I'm going to Dallas also. 8 hours journey. How many hours? 8 hours journey. Okay. But we need to engage ourselves. Okay, to kill boredom, what we do, when we are flying over the Atlantic, now let us wait until the flight is above its altitude, when it maintains its altitude and when it is on top of Atlantic. Let's kill boredom, okay? So you take a nap for some time. I will also take a nap for some time. But after that, we are going to do something. The Indian man said, oh, that's beautiful. So when it was flying over Atlantic, Einstein saw this Indian man. He was still sleeping. He said, hey, get up. You are on top of Atlantic. You're just flying over Atlantic. Let's have a game. The Indian man said, yeah, it's nice to have a game. So he said, okay, the game is this. I will ask you questions and you should answer. First, I will ask you a question and then you will answer. Then you will ask me a question, I will answer. Then the Indian man said, oh, that's cool. It's absolutely okay for me. But Einstein said, look, every time I ask you a question, and if you don't answer, you will pay me $5. But if you ask me a question, I'm Albert Einstein, but if you ask me a question, and if I don't answer, I will give you $500. Listen to this very carefully. So, Einstein knows everything. So, Einstein's idea is that Indian man may not be in a position to answer all his questions. So, he said, every question I ask you, and if you don't answer, you'll have to pay me $5. But you can ask me any question under the sky. I will answer everything. But if I fail to answer you, I will give you 500. So, first is mine. So, Albert Einstein, he said, no, since I am the scientist, I have more brains than you do. You first ask the question. Then this Indian man said, no, it is okay. You ask first. So Einstein asked, what is the time taken by light from sun to reach earth? Indian man looked at him. He took what? $5 and gave it to him. Einstein said, okay, you ask me the question. And then man looked at him and he asked him, what goes up the hill with four legs? And when it reaches on top, when it wants to come down, it comes down in three legs. Answer. Einstein was like, eh. Me, I thought that I am the smartest and the wisest. This guy has asked me a question. What goes up the mountain with four legs? And when it comes down, it comes with the three legs. Anage. It is tough. So the Indian man said, should I sleep? No. He took $500 bill and he said, then the Indian man said, now it is your turn. Now Einstein said, what goes up the hill with the four legs? And when it comes down, it comes with on its three legs. Indian man he took what? $5. He gave it to him. Einstein said, I am too sleepy. Let me sleep now. An Indian man can even get back his flight ticket when he is above Atlantic. He got his $490 just like that. Money tells you one statement. What is that? Please keep me with you. But the moment, sometimes we are too lavish in our spending. Spending is what kills us. Now you can see, for example, we have our own opinion about money. When I look at a Ugandan wedding, I'm not saying don't spend for wedding. So, by the way, disclaimer is here. I'll give you a disclaimer. Whatever I tell you, don't take it to heart. Understand in a perspective, it must be understood. Okay? So I may make some remarks. It is not to hurt anyone. We are together here as a family to understand and to learn something. Okay? Now, when I see some of the weddings, I wonder, why this thing? Can't they wed without this? Can't they wed without this? So when I go to some weddings, I always think, even with my young people, I always tell them, look, if you have a budget of, say, 30 million for your wedding, don't spend all the 30. What you should do is take your budget. You see, you need to have two budgets. One is a fundraising budget, the other is the actual budget. Have you understood? But we have only one budget. We go by that. Even at church, that is a mistake we do. Are we together? So what we do in Musda or in our church, we always have a fundraising budget. Fundraising budget, we'll bloat it. Okay, we will say we will say, okay, for this event we need 25 million. We will strive hard to achieve the 25. Actual budget would be around 7 to 8 million. So even if you get 20 million, how much have you saved there? 12 million. So this 12 million, we'll put it somewhere and see how to make it grow. Are we together? So even in weddings, if you have a budget, many times I always tell people, the young fellows who get married, don't try to exhaust everything. How much is left out? 200. Okay, get another crate of soda. We'll finish that 200 also. And now, what does money tell you? Please keep me with you. Are we together? Now, instead, many times you see what happens. People spend a lot of money on their wedding, correct? And on that night of their wedding, they go to a home that is empty. Am I right? And the guy says, yeah, I spent a lot of money, but where are we going to sleep? You don't worry, there is a mattress down there, which I brought it from S6. You'll sleep there. But you have squandered 30 million for that day. So why don't you pick some money? Let us say 10 million or 15 million. Keep your wedding simple if that is the money that you have. If all the money that you may have is say 20 million, why don't you spend 10 million for your wedding and 10 million reserve it for your home? Build somewhere. At least you can give that lady a refrigerator at home. You can take her at least a small carpet, even if it is not big, at least something small, even if it's kind of a prayer mat. Till you can tell this is our carpet. Something to start. A bed, a good fan, maybe a good television if you want, a good sofa. You are set to go. But you have squandered all the 30 million on the wedding day. You've been dancing for the cakes and cutting everything, and then you go and sleep on the bare floor. And in the middle of the night, it is cold. Managi, it is cold here. You don't have even money to buy a piece of blanket. Have you understood? Yeah? Am I speaking to some young men and women here? So be prudent in how you deal with your money. So the one language that money speaks is what? Please keep me with you. It loves you so much. It doesn't want you to take the money and give it to someone. So it is just a game of exchanges. Okay, I'm not a person. Okay, I love finance, of course. And someone said, okay, I think I don't want to boast too much, but God has blessed me with some good qualification educationally. I have an MBA with finance, and I also completed my master's in commerce, and I also have a Master of Science in psychology, and I also have a master's in philosophy, which is a pre-doctoral degree, and also a PhD in finance. Now, why I'm saying this is not to just trumpet around to say that I'm so big. I'm just an ordinary person. But I would like to make things very easier for us to understand. I don't want to go into theories and say theory number 1, theory of finance, theory of money. No, I'm not a fan of that.